Hi guys, good morning. It's ridiculous o'clock here, like 10 to 5, and I'll be honest, I really don't feel like doing a video, but at the same time something told me to sit down and give it a whirl, so that's what I'm doing. You know, because I've not been feeling very strong or positive or anything. No. It's May here. It's May the 12th. And it's fucking cold. It feels like it's March. Or even earlier. It feels like it's February. It's cold. And a friend of mine had to go into town because he needed some things that you have to go into town to get, you know. And he said that all the shops are closed, as in like all these smaller businesses are gone, all boarded up, empty, you know, lots everywhere. Everything is just, he said, this is everything, paint is peeling, everything is just broken, and yeah. This world, this place, this thing is completely and utterly falling apart. But it's more than that. It really is. And something has been going on within me that, yet again, it's so deep and it's big and it's complex, though in its essence, of course, as always, it's actually very, very simple. This just makes me think of that movie. Oh, bloody hell, what's it called again? You know, Donnie Darko, that's it. You know, where they're in the classroom and have that teacher who's like a virtue signalling bitch that, you know, can't stand. But she has this sliding scale and she goes on about, well, it's all about fear versus love. And Donnie Darko goes, well, I think it's actually a bit more complicated than that. And of course she gets really offended. She's a series 3. Oh, they always do. They get offended. You know, being offended is their main kind of like, yeah. You know, that's how they shut everything and everyone up. Don't you dare talk to me because I am offended. The series 3, you know. Anyway, it is complicated in a way, but oddly enough, I've been coming around to that sliding scale fear versus love again in a big way. So I guess I'm just going to ramble on, and I'm still going to do the Neverending Story Decoded, but I want to make that one a special one. So I need to be in the right state of being for that, because that movie is very, very dear to my heart, and it's incredibly meaningful to me. I watched it maybe 6 months ago and it spoke to me in a million different ways, you know, and so when I watch it again, I'm really gonna immerse myself and I'm really gonna allow it to speak to me, and then I'm gonna do a video, and I just want it to be a good one. So that's why, yeah, I've got my coffee here. Coffee. So it's been, I've been through ordeal after ordeal, and there's no denying it, you know. We live in a world where you're not supposed to say that, you know, when you're going through shit, when you're really going through shit, you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to put a brave face on it, aren't you? You're supposed to say that, I'm fine. Came across this thing on Facebook, and it was like, oh, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and how utterly evil that really is, you know. And it's true, and I've done videos about that, and I've spoken about that in the past already anyway. I've addressed that, you know. I've addressed all the mind control and the gaslighting nonsense. You know, people, especially in this country, but I think it's an American thing as well. I've noticed this because I've got several American friends who seem to do this a lot. These are people that I love with all my heart, but I'm not that awake. And they seem to think that by being nice and happy, that, yeah, that's the way to be. Even when inside you feel utterly broken and ripped apart and you're going through a fucking ordeal that's just beyond description, you know. But no, you gotta be nice, you gotta be nice, you gotta be nice, you gotta be smiling. Here in this country, they have keep calm and carry on, and you know, this is what they do to us. It's like they mistreat you so incredibly badly, and in every imaginable way and on every level. But then when you finally just can't take anymore and you break and you just go completely ballistic, they slap you down. And this is very cruel, and they do this on purpose. It's pure sadistic nastiness, you know. Anyway, I'm sort of not really giving a fuck about that, because I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Here I am. I feel what I feel. I'm pretty good with feeling. I always have been. But more and more, as all the mind control's been cleared out, I see that I see that, hey, I can love myself. I can love myself in all my wonkiness, in all my strengths, in all my abilities and all my gifts and all my beautifulness, but also in all my brokenness and all my darkness and all my fucked upness. I can love myself completely. In every part of me, I can meet myself, face myself, and receive myself, and hug myself, and love myself, and bring myself back into wholeness wherever I find myself. And I think that is pivotal now. Truly, truly pivotal. Because it is in our deepest, darkest wounds that evil has power over us. It literally has, and it uses it against us. It has a hold over us. The mind control, all that programming, all that twisted, distorted, evil filth that takes place within our psyche happens because of our trauma, because of our woundedness, you see. It is, as it were, our weakest link. So to be able to, and this is a simple choice that we make over and over and over and over and over again to receive ourselves. This whole soul retrieval business, that just happens in and of itself anyway. It's not something that you have to initialize. You simply will it so. Your true self, I don't know, whatever, it just happens. There's many ways in which this entire experience, process, call it a journey, really just happens. We spend so much time thinking that we're going to fail and that we're going to get it wrong and that we're going to be lost forever in ultimate darkness, all alone. And the horror of that thought is so overwhelming. It's bone shattering almost, you know. But that is just not true. You know, it isn't true. Because we have this powerful love within us, which is pure power. It's love. It is unconditional, it's infinite unconditional love. It has more meaning in this place than it does anywhere else, people. I know that much. Because when you've been disabused and ripped apart and degraded, humiliated, shamed, gaslit, mind controlled. I mean, wow, there's an endless vernacular for this, you know. All of a sudden, your one weapon, as it were, infinite unconditional love and creativity, becomes the most powerful weapon. Just that one enormous weapon that has all these different functions, you know? It's fierce. Oh yeah. It's fierce. It's swift too. It's not about vengeance, you know, it never was, because if you're still wanting vengeance, if you're still wandering around wanting vengeance, then you're not ready yet. That means you've not. We need to let it all go. All of it has to go. It's when we surrender it all, let it all go, because we know intrinsically within the deepest part of us that our power lies in love. This is not something that happens to us. We happen to it, and you do the sacred work. You bring yourself home. Bit by bit by bit, you go into hell to do that. You know, you get to a point where you realize that, you know what, I've done battle, in a way, with the most grotesque evil, with demons. Why the fuck would I be afraid of the security guard at the door of Walmart telling me I should put on my mask? It's like, fuck off. I battle with demons, motherfucker. What, you think I'm afraid of you? Goodness me. You know, we do battle, yes we do, but it isn't the way they do battle in this distortion, inversion reality, you know, it isn't the same at all. We don't fight against. This is something that we've been told to do, and it is not the way. It keeps us stuck, people. I know this for a fact. When you're in a state of resistance, you stay trapped. When you're in a state of surrender, you are in a state of liberation. I know this much. There are times where you have to make a stand. Yeah, speak your truth. Be who and what you are. That is always the truth, always the case. That is how we are. But to be in a state of resistance, you know, in a state of I want vengeance, in a state of I hate them and I'm gonna get them and I'm gonna fucking ooh, you know, to be in a state of resistance, agitation, in a state of adrenaline fueled fight or flight nervous system state of I hate, I am at war, I am against, I'm gonna resist. This is how we've been taught to be, and it's been, and that's all part of the mind control. This is all part of that fear construct that lives within us, that keeps us trapped in this nightmare. Because what's become very clear to me is that there are two types of consciousness. There is the dark, metallic, artificial consciousness, which lives within our, right, which it lives within us. Or there is the natural light consciousness, call it the Holy Grail, call it whatever you like, you know. And the dark consciousness wants to stay in situ. It has never ever been 100% in control, obviously, hence we call this duality. It isn't really duality, it's not really a good word for it, but for lack of a better word, right? There is beauty here, there is creativity here, there is love here, there is incredible goodness in this world, there is. But of course we all know increasingly now this has become so incredibly putrid and evil and insane. And I mean, it is also blatantly ridiculous, because I was watching a video by that Hugo Talks on his, I think it was his website or something, and there's this cyber attack by this group called the dark side. And it's all so fucking fake. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's fucking bullshit. And that Klaus Schwab is like somebody from it's like a character from a really bad B-movie. I mean, somebody who's a mover and a shaker in the international sort of thing, and the World Economic Forum would not have such a really thick, bad German accent. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. It really just is. And the reason it's that way is because the dark consciousness it's malfunctioning. It's malfunctioning. It's falling apart. It just can't hold itself together. It's always been fake. We weren't able to see it because we were under heavy mind control. The more you wake up, the more you see how utterly ridiculous it is, right? But it's now more, it's literally teetering. It's like, oh, can't cope, can't quite manage to keep it together, it's mentally ill. Anyway, the true consciousness is pure power, and it has many facets. Like a very well-rounded individual, it has many different aspects to it for us to explore. But ultimately we are, yet again, at that crossroads, aren't we? Yet again, having to choose. Fear, self-hate, self-sabotage, vengeance, rage, fear, all of that. There's so much to that. We all know that because we've been there. Or love, power, magic, miracles. Ultimately, we choose what sits in the driver's seat and what gets to create. And we are at this pivotal stage, well, some of us are, where if we choose wisely and powerfully, we will start to bring into form miracles. I can feel this with my entire being. Even as I am being tested to the very fucking core of my being, and oh boy, it's been at me. Unbelievable. Right? You all know what that is like, don't you? When evil comes at you and tells you that you're utterly worthless and there's nothing you can do and you're so powerless and oh, I'm going to destroy you and all these terrible things are going to happen and this is all there is and there's nothing you can do and blah and blah and blah, and there is still that trauma, that residual, and it becomes quite, you can feel it in your gut, you can feel it in your throat, you can feel it in your heart chakra, you break out in a cold sweat, the fear, the oh my god, all of that. And then at the same time, as you're going through all that, at the same time, in the same room, as it were, right, on the other side of the room, on that nice blue sofa, sits the Great Mother, or the true consciousness. And it feels completely peaceful and powerful, infinite power. Infinite power. So there's no need to resist, there's no need to fight, there's no need to be afraid. It sits there with a smile, with a serene smile on its face, because it knows beyond the shadow of a doubt that evil is neither here nor there, and the only power it has is what we choose to give it. That has always been the ultimate truth, people. We were always at the helm. We just didn't realize it, you see? Talk about gaslighting yourself. It lives within us. I've been saying this in all my videos. I've talked about this for so long now. Right? And so what do we manifest? We manifest demons. We manifest some fucking odd-looking James Bond-esque villain with a really bad German accent called Klaus Schwab in The Great Reset. Interesting, because I've been talking about reset now for fucking God knows how many years, and all of a sudden there is Klaus Schwab with his stupid German accent and talking about the Great Reset, Sieg Heil, Sieg Heil, and it's like, oh, fuck off. because that which lies in our own consciousness, that wants to know, I will have my way, I will have hell, I want to create hell on earth, I want to carry on doing that, but I'm just getting increasingly really, really shit at it now. And then there's on the other side, there's love saying, well, yeah, because come on now, we've done this to death, enough, I'm bored. Let's create infinite wonder and magic and incredibleness. Let's just do all of that. Let's just dissolve back into neutral energy all that negativity, all that fear, all that hate, all that rage, all that woundedness, all that brokenness. Let's just heal it all. Let's go back over all these timelines throughout the millennia and bring home every part of ourselves, everywhere. Coming home, come home, come home, come home. You are all welcome, you are loved, doesn't matter where you've been, doesn't matter what you've done, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter what you feel. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved, you are loved. Infinite, unconditional love. The brightest light, the most beautiful light ever. There it is, and we are coming home, all of us, all of us, all of us, all of us. And as we do that, we become more and more and more powerful. And we see and see and see more and more and more and understand and get it. Ha ha ha. Eureka. On steroids times a million. And then there is peace. Yeah. Then you exist truly in. And it is like tick tock, because it's like, no, you need to be afraid. You need to be afraid because that's just the way the world is. You need to be terrified at all times and expect the worst. And you need to do the risk assessment and what's coming at me now, what's going to happen now, and how will I survive, and oh my god, right? And because of your being tortured that way, you feel all that hate and all that rage and all that self-hate and all of that, and all of that is still there going, because you're still doing the sacred work. And there is love, and it's saying, but it's all right, you can keep letting that go. You do no longer have to exist in that state. You can let it go, you can let it go. So that is what you do then. That is what I've been doing. You exist in there. You're kind of in the middle. You're aware of all that, and it's making you feel really, really awful. And it's like, oh, and sometimes you're in that, and it's like, oh yeah, oh, and like, oh no, I don't need to do that anymore. Actually, oh, cool. Oh, I can let it all go and just be with this knowing that yes, everything's going to work out. All is truly going to be well. There are miracles. But you see, another thing that I've been acutely aware of is that fear that we have. So what if that actually pans out? I've taken the leap of faith. I've chosen to walk the path of infinite unconditional love and creativity, and I start to manifest miracles. What if I won't be able to handle that? What then? No, I'm sure I wouldn't be able to cope with that. I wouldn't be able to handle that. I'm used to suffering. I'm used to hardship. I'm used to misery and scarcity and fear and, you know, I'm used to that. I feel comfortable there. I don't want miracles because I wouldn't know what to do with them. I wouldn't know what to do. No. Do you see what I mean? That's the program. It's so clever and it's so, you know. So you work on that. You alchemize that. It's time for us to walk out of that fear prison. It's time for us to be done with the dark night of the soul. It's time for us to start bringing into form the magic and the miracles and the wonderfulness. Going home is not something that happens just like that, you know. It's a very deep alchemizing. It's a very, very deep thing. And for those of us who are for real, we understand this. We have gained that deep inner wisdom, that knowing. We have done that work. We are it, you know. And you can always tell a true soul traveler because, you know, you can feel that depth and that intensity. It's an energy signature. You just know. It's like, yeah, okay. You know? We have walked a true path. And it's wow. We've walked through hell, people. And we are very, very special. We're not shallow people that expect instant gratification. No. We know better than that. We know because we've done the sacred work. And it's only when you've really done the sacred work deep within, when you... There is no way to put it into words, you know, and it's you leave all that behind, you know. It's you're a person, an individual, a being of pure empathy, of depth, of wisdom, or you cultivate all these gifts, or rather you bring them back, because you never really lost them, you know, but they become temporarily obscured, you see. But the mimics, they don't have any of that. They're very shallow, and they're very good at pretending to be this, that and the other, but they're not, and there's a lot of that going on as well. There's a lot going on that, you know, requires us to be extremely discerning what we associate with and who we associate with, people, because it's extremely important, because all of that is part of that metallic darkness that wants to remain in control. We're not out of the woods just yet, but this shift from darkness to light is really gaining momentum, big time. And it is a choice we make. Sometimes when it gets really difficult, there are days like yesterday, where you're like, you know, clocks, tick, 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 tick. It's like that, in and out, into the light and back into the darkness, and into the light and back into the darkness, and being in full awareness of that going on as well. It's incredible, you know. But suffice it to say that it's safe to choose surrender, even whilst you feel riled, even whilst you feel angry. I mean, because we get afraid that in surrender we will lose our discernment, that in surrender we will lose our ability to stand up for ourselves, to set strong boundaries. But actually you will find that in surrender and with infinite unconditional love, you have supreme vision. And it is a fiery and sharp sword that cuts away. All that is dead, by the way, guys. You know? It's not stupid at all. But there is no need to languish in vengeance, because that is languishing in resistance and a state of fear. You know? There's no need for that at all. You just let it go. And when if there is a need to set boundaries, and because these creatures, they will time and time again, because they're there to feed, they're parasites, you know. It's all the love bombing and all the this and all the that, and they will try it on because they want a piece of you. So the best way to deal with it is to disentangle, is to walk away. But if necessary, look them straight in the eye and tell them to back off. Tell them you know what they are and you know what they're doing, and they will not succeed, for they are empty. You know? Or if you're dealing with, as we know, this world and its systems, and your boss is telling you that you need to get a vaccination or you won't have a job or anything, There are times where we do have to stand up, but we can do it in a certain way. We can do it with a certain amount of detachment, knowing that we are the power of love and therefore supremely powerful. It will not harm us because we have this protection. I do feel that. I've had experiences these last couple of weeks where it's like, okay, yeah, you're going to have to draw a line here and tell them to back the fuck off. Or, yeah, you're going to have to draw a line here and do absolutely nothing and it will just sort itself out. I always know what to do. I always know. My intuition guides me infallibly. It says, go here, do that, do not do anything at all, let it go, whatever. It tells me what people are, what situations are, what places are, increasingly now, more than ever before, you know. This is one of the gifts that you receive through doing the sacred work, you see. Through the layers and all that sacred work and walking through the valley of the shadow of death and through hells and facing demons and all of it, and boy have we been through it, but boy has it been worth it, you know. You always know a true soul traveller, man. Hop on over to a channel called The Green Wizard. He's a good friend of mine. And I've known The Green Wizard for, well, a few years. And there's some other people as well that I know damn well are soul travellers. And, you know, they've changed. They've changed. They've grown, they've evolved, they've been doing the sacred work. Often enough on their knees begging for mercy, but they've kept going and they've kept doing the sacred work, and oh boy, I can feel them and they resonate, and it's beautiful and it's powerful and it's wise and it's empathetic, you know. And there is an honesty and an openness and always this originality. There is originality and it comes from within. It's like Charles said from WeC33. Morality, creativity, whatever it is, it all comes from within us. But these NPCs or these demons or these mimics, they don't know anything about that, you see. So what they do is they take what we say and pretend it's their idea. They do this all the time, you know. They talk about, oh yeah, it's like this and it's like that. A lot of these new age gurus are like that, you know. They come out with this crap. Because of course they're empty, you know, but it's more than that. It's like they envy us and they want to be like us, and it's like, oh, I'm a guru, I'm a teacher. You can always tell because they're there telling other people what they should be thinking, you know. We don't have the right to tell anybody what to think. We don't have the right to tell anybody, oh, this is what is going on and that is the truth. I talk about my experiences. I talk about what I perceive as going on. I also know that it's subtly different for each and every one of us because we are originals, we are individuals, and we have different experiences and our realities are all slightly different, you know. I do not have the right to tell you who you are or why you're here or what you should be doing or what you should be feeling. No, I don't have that right at all. We are here to honor each other's journeys, you know, to see it for what it is. Incredibly tough, but ultimately very meaningful and beautiful and creative. And as we emerge into light and keep forging this gold from the darkness and keep taking that leap of faith and keep choosing to surrender and keep choosing love Love yourself, love yourself. Keep knowing that we deserve true well-being, that to choose to trust this notion. Well, that's how I feel, and maybe we don't all feel that way, but that's okay, you know, because one way or another, you all make it home eventually. But it is a beautiful journey. You know, this doesn't just happen. You don't just go home. You know, we have walked this path. We've had this experience. We are on this journey, and we have alchemized it little by little by little by little by little. You know, so going home is something that we choose to savor. I feel you go home bit by bit, like a beautiful, magical, multi-faceted spiral. You know, when you go within, you really begin the sacred work. You also do a spiral, but you spiral downwards into. Then you spiral outwards, up, you see. And you savor it, because when you're ready to stop thinking of yourself as a powerless, worthless victim, and when you're ready to start thinking of yourself as a beautiful, beloved child of the Great Mother, infinitely powerful and creative, you realize that it's all meaningful. All of it is. All of it is. Oh, and it is a valuable, valuable gift, this entire experience. It really just is. You know? Yeah. So you choose to create the going home experience, you know. And we do that in our own way. Again, we're original. We are original. We are individual. We are curious. We always change. We are like, infinite children, yet infinitely wise. You know, when I say we are children, I don't mean that we are infantile and immature. You know, no. But, you know, do you remember when you were a child and, I mean, you could do incredible things with, I don't know, a stick and a cup of sand. You know, right? We are that way. We use all this misery and suffering and darkness and torture and trauma that we've been through. We somehow use that. We alchemize that shit, man. You know? And we are turning the tables. Something is happening here. I can feel it. I know this. I do it. It's, you know. And some have not as yet arrived there, but you will, no doubt, one way or another in your own way. And some are here, and some are maybe even further ahead. I don't know. But it's happening. And we're all doing this together in our own unique, original way. It's like a tapestry, you know, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a great, massive, incredible, infinite work of art, what we're doing here. It truly is. And it's going to be okay, I know it. Choose love. Let go of that state of resistance. Let it go. Let it go. Keep letting go. I'm doing that as well. Do the best you can with that, you know. There are some days where you can do it. There are other days where you can't. Okay? And if you want to have rants and screams and cry, all of that is very important. Feel, scream, rant. Go out there in nature if you can and immerse yourself and love and do it all with abandon. Honor yourself. Honor yourselves, people. Honor yourselves, you know. It's time to start creating the light reset. And I think we're getting there. Yeah. I think I'll call it a day there. Because my coffee's gone. So yeah, never-ending story is coming up, but I don't know, it might be a little bit of a while before I'm ready to do that, guys, okay? So, all my love to all of you. You just keep doing what you're doing, because one way or another, and in your own unique way, you're all doing, I'm sure, a fantastic job, you know? And you're so precious, and you're so amazing, and you're so incredible.